Tenova Bateman is the result of the acquisition in May 2012 of the South African-based Bateman Group of Companies by the Tenova Group based in Milan, Italy. With annual revenues in excess of $25 billion, over 70,000 employees, and offices on every continent around the globe, Tenova Bateman is part of a technically strong and successful group that understands the full value chain, from the design of iron ore mines, the beneficiation of the iron ore, through to the production of steel. Côte d'Ivoire has had enormous success with oil and gas development, which has helped develop this nation into a regional powerhouse. Mining, particularly the extraction and beneficiation of iron ore, offers a similar path to further economic growth. There are some key lessons to be learned from elsewhere in Africa that can help accelerate this development of Côte d'Ivoire. The granting of licenses to serious investors who have an established track record in mine development, favorable tax and royalty concessions that encourage investment, the downstream processing of iron ore to produce value-added products like pig iron, which substantially increases the value of the exports, and finally, the production of basic steel profiles in Côte d'Ivoire to supply the local and regional demand for steel. One of the major keys to unlocking all this value lies in the substantial investment of heavy-duty railways and ports so that the iron ore concentrates and high-value steel products can be exported from Côte d'Ivoire, and the long-term availability of low-cost power and natural gas. Sales of iron ore concentrates into the global steel-making market is incredibly complex, as the specifications demanded by the steel mills require the removal of multiple contaminants at the mine site, which is a very expensive process. Unlike the sale of gold, long-term offtake agreements need to be signed with specific steel mills, as the global market for spot sales of iron ore concentrate is very small. A practical way to overcome this restraint is to encourage investors to convert these iron ore concentrates into pig iron, which has a much larger global market, and this will bring substantially higher revenues for both the investor and the government of Côte d'Ivoire. The majority of iron ore mines in Africa are open cast. The resource is situated close to the surface and can be easily accessed at a reasonably low cost using conventional mining methods that require lots of diesel for large mining fleets and explosives to help extract the iron ore from the mine. The haul road connects the mine to the mineral processing plant and is designed for use by heavy-duty haul trucks operating 24 hours per day, 365 days per year. The iron ore rocks are dumped into the primary crusher, where it is broken into progressively finer lumps. High-grade iron ore with a calcine value of over 62% iron can now be directly shipped to the client. Lower grade iron ore with a calcine value of less than 62% iron needs further treatment in order to remove the barren waste rock or unwanted elements that can negatively impact the steel making process. The product stockpile provides a buffer capacity between the process plant and the extensive logistics network that is needed to export the iron ore, such as barging, rail, shipping, or pipeline. Most iron ore deposits are in remote locations, often many hundreds of kilometers from an export port, and thus require a heavy-duty railway line to cost-effectively take the product from the mine and transport it to the port of export, or for further beneficiation, such as the production of pig iron, subject to the availability of natural gas and low-cost power. Ultra-fine concentrate could, however, be pumped via a specially designed pipeline from the mine to the port, where extensive stockpile and ship loading facilities are required. The final step in getting the iron ore to the client is through a high-capacity port with dedicated iron ore ship loading facilities. The port is the doorway to the global market, and Côte d'Ivoire needs to ensure that the cost of using the port facilities is competitive with the other countries in West Africa. Considering the complexity of balancing the considerable iron ore assets that Côte d'Ivoire has with the need for substantial private sector investment in order to liberate this potential wealth, a strong technical partner is essential to ensure a successful outcome. Tenova Bateman is a proudly African company with over 90 years of experience with mining on our continent. Let's walk the road together to help unlock this value for the people of Côte d'Ivoire.